Are we on? Hi,
Hi.
hello, everyone. Are you all there?
That's me saying hi to everybody.
It's very queen-like.
I just had a Dr. Pepper and some M&Ms, and I am ready to go. I got a lot of energy. How is it? Oh yeah, people are coming in saying Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy New Year.
Happy
Oh, and
New
Bren is in LA. Oh, be careful.
Oh, my goodness
Yeah.
gracious. How's everybody doing who's on the West Coast in California? That's horrific.
Mm.
I have family out there who are keeping an eye on things, boy. How awful. Hey, it's the Library Love Fest team coming to you from two ports in the storm. Grace, where are you?
I am in Brooklyn.
And why? And Lainey and I are in Manhattan. We're in the office. Hi. But Grace, why are you home and not in the office with us?
I took a bit of a tumble on New Year's Eve, so I have a sprained ankle, and I will be staying home because subway steps are not my friend right now.
How are you feeling today?
Good, doing good.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you to show your foot to people, but yesterday Grace showed us her foot and we were like, run, don't walk if you could to urgent care.
And I did go to urgent care. No breaks, just a sprain. I left with a little brace. So, and they basically just told me like stop walking. So, but all good. Things could be worse. I don't have to have a cast, so that's looking at the bright side.
Okay, but maybe Lainey and I could sign your brace.
Maybe you could. I'll get a it's honestly not that nice of a brace. I feel like there's no point.
Brace yourself. No
Oh,
walking.
oh, honey maze. Everyone, it's great to be back. It's a new year, new books, new everything. Grace's foot will get better and we'll all be dancing. I don't know. Yeah, we're talking about a couple of things. We're talking about books. We're talking about, maybe we should start off with writers to watch, just to let everybody know at the top of the hour. Don't forget, tomorrow, Thursday, 7 p.m. ET. Oh no. Just can't help it. So we're gonna have these amazing authors on, and there's the lineup right there. Can you all see it?
Remember last Galley Gab Fest where I was talking about Kevin Wilson's book? And I was like, I just want to talk about it with anyone. Well, now we can. So it's very exciting. This
Yeah.
is crazy. This is crazy. This is great.
It's
Good
a great,
lineup.
great lineup. And Mary Alice Monroe. What?
Yeah.
And Blair Underwood, he's got this new series, and this is Sins of Survivors, and he'll be on with his co-writer Joe McLean. And you guys want to talk about the other two?
Yeah, we have Self-Sabotage by Jeffrey Self. So got a memoir in here. We have Girls with Long Shadows, which is a debut. We got a good mix of things here. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
nonfiction, some fiction. Oh yeah, I love the cover for Self-Sabotage. I just saw Beth put that in. It's so good. And also just like the fact that his name is Jeff, like is Self. I don't know. Great title. We were all very excited about this.
Yeah, it has a little, harkens back actually to Kevin Wilson's Nothing to See Here with a little.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to dip in, if you go to Library Love Fest and you click on the or we can actually just put them in the
I'll put the link in.
chat. We've got the e-galleys for all the books. So if you want to dip in, it's tomorrow night. But anyway, we have January in the books after tomorrow night, and then we have February and March, and now we're working on April.
Yep,
So it's
very
nice. So
close.
um, funny fact. So we're sending out emails to the authors, making sure everybody had everything. And I wrote to Jeffrey and Tennessee and said, here's everything that you need. We'll see you tomorrow. And Tennessee wrote back and said, thanks, Virginia. And I said, you're welcome, Tennessee. And then that opened up a whole conversation about what names of states could also be the names of people. So We haven't run this by Grace. Lainey and I started going there, and so we said, let's make this a question for all of our buddies who are watching right now. So in the chat, whether you're on Crowdcast or Facebook, don't look at the map and don't look at the list
Don't
of
cheat.
states. Just like think about like what states could really be a person's name.
Alaska is a good one. Like Looking for Alaska by John Green.
I think we won't say, but we counted 6. So let's see if we can get beyond 6.
Now,
right.
Grace, you can email us, but
Okay.
don't say out loud because it's our librarians now who have to come up with some names.
I'm making a list and I'll send it to you.
I mean, I don't think anybody was ever named Wyoming. But you
But
never,
any name could be
Well,
a
that's true.
state. You know, any state could be a name.
can you imagine your like mother when you're a little kid, you're like, Wyoming, get in here.
New Hampshire. Stop it. Oh, full name, New Hampshire.
Rhode Island, the school called, you're in trouble again.
Road, though, I guess technically, but I
Road?
don't know if we would count
Oh, Road. That's kind of a cool name.
that. Yeah, like roads. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Is anybody writing in or are they all like, you know what? No, we're not playing.
Wait, let me see. Maryland. Oh, yep, we got.
Oh, do you know a Maryland? Because I guess so. Yeah, Maryland we didn't count. And Penn from Pennsylvania. Okay.
Pen Cage?
Lillian, do you know a Colorado?
No. Does she?
That's cool.
Amy said
I've never-
Idaho would be unfortunate.
What?
Amy said Idaho would be unfortunate.
Yes. Yes. Hi. Hi. Who are
Hi.
you? Idaho. That's pretty obvious. All right, we're gonna start talking about books before I get.
I think Colorado's a cool name. I've just never heard anybody's name. Oh, Montana. Yeah,
That's cool.
we didn't say Montana, but that's
did not,
true.
yeah.
So they're already above.
Just sent you
Oh,
guys.
Carolina.
Oh, Carolina.
That's
we had it all
good.
sewn up.
Oh, Lillian knows a Denver, the
Oh,
Toni
really?
Morrison novel.
Oh, I was thinking.
Oh, okay. I love it.
All right. Keep them coming.
I love this.
I love this too. It's so much fun.
Have you ever tried to like write down all the states and see if you could do it from memory? Because I know there's a song, but I don't know the song.
I don't remember the
Fail,
whole.
I always forget like 5, and then I think
What song are you talking about?
there's a state song. Like
Really?
Arkansas, Alabama. Like you sing it, but I don't know it.
I
Grace,
like,
did you learn that in school?
we did learn the song, but my like high school US history teacher, like he made us like, it was like a test we had. We had to name all of the states and their capitals, and that was like an exam we had at the beginning of the year. And I don't remember the song.
Yeah.
Arkansas, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, Vicky Nelson said Tennessee and
Tennessee.
Florida. We talked about
Florida. Well, do you remember Good Times with Esther Roll, John Amos? Such a great show. And Esther Roll's name in the show was Florida. I loved her.
Wow.
All right, let's keep it going. Let's talk books because we could be at this for forever. I'm not saying we're not going back to it. So keep eyes on the prizes.
Okay, we're gonna start off. We were thinking, new year, new me type of vibes. So we have some like self-helpy things to like kick us off with. So I'm gonna talk about this book called How Do You Choose, which is like the hardest question ever anyway, no matter what. But this is by Erin Claire Jones. It's on sale this May, and she is a leading expert in human design, which she describes as like if astrology and Myers-Briggs had a baby. And I love a personality test. I know Lainey and I both have talked about like personality tests in office, the Enneagram, but human design is essentially just a self-knowledge system. And this book is going to help you discover your type and then understand how to live a more enriching life from there. It's this like easy and accessible guide and has stories from her own life and case studies from her work with thousands of clients. It also talks about how like celebrities like Taylor Swift and other people have used like human design to help in their careers. So I think it's like very cool that you have this like kind of more like these case studies, these examples, and it also includes journaling prompts. And I love a journaling prompt. I don't know if you guys love a journaling prompt, but I think they're cool for libraries because you don't have to write them like in the book. Obviously, you can just use them in your own journal. So you'll learn things like professional roles you're designed to pursue, relationship dynamics that make you feel seen, potent communication strategies with colleagues, family, and friends, gifts you bring to a team, and how you can be most effective, the way you are uniquely designed to make decisions of all kinds. And I just think it's a cool way to find deeper connections, create more habits, start a new chapter, especially for the new year. And yeah, so that stuff has been on my mind. So we want to share that one with you before we go to our next book. I'm passing it to
Grace, how did you choose this book?
how did I choose this book? I feel like I don't know, the like last week of December is when I don't know, I'm someone that like panics resolutions. Do you guys panic make resolutions, or is that just like,
No,
no?
I don't.
Lainey, you? I
I
see.
have a few, but I've been thinking about them for a while, yeah.
Oh no, like the last week of December hits. So I'm like, I have to reinvent myself. I have to get new bangs. I have to figure out how to do X, Y, and Z. I'm learning new skills. I don't ever do them, but like I chose this book because I'm like, maybe this book will help me choose.
I
So that,
love it. I was kidding, but I do love that
and then
explanation.
you made me panic. Okay, I'm
All
passing
good.
it over to Lainey on trusting your mind.
Oh, well, let's not make jokes about titles because I don't trust my mind sometimes. Okay, Trust Your Mind by Janara Nierenberg. So Janara is lectures widely on neuroscience, innovation, sensitivity, and leadership and diversity. And so she was selected as a Brave New Idea presenter at the Aspen Institute for her work on reframing mental differences. And she's the founder and host of the Neurodiversity Project. You might know her from that. So she knows of what she speaks. She's very qualified. And so this book is going to break down the psychological landscape of groupthink, cancel culture, which I feel is like such a big hot button term now, and how these phenomena created the culture of self-censorship, offering a path towards good communication for everyone. It's not a political book. It's not on one side. Everyone can learn from it. And even if you are on different sides of things, you can find a way in the middle. So it's connected across geography and culture via the internet, and the world is so vast, it makes this like landscape even a shrinking echo chamber. So how do we communicate? And especially she does a discourse over free speech becoming increasingly divisive, and one person's right to speak becoming conflicted with those seeking to prevent harm, or etc. Or our tolerance for differing opinions is also narrowing, like having a wrong remark or comment, no matter how innocent it seems, can result in banishment, or contradictory ideas, they spark backlash. And so that's called the cancel culture. So she wants to look at how this affects all of us, unfortunately very timely. And she analyzes the self-silencing name is what she goes into. So asking potent questions about how harmful groupthink has become accepted. And she's also has a lot of expertise in journalism, and public health and psychology, actually. So she digs into like these urgent problems and how we can look into this culture of self-censorship and see if it has like loneliness and isolation and polarization issues around it, and how we can kind of change. So it's a lot of hope in this read. It's kind of a book for everyone, like I said. So, and there's also a lot of nuance. I think we very easily in these days go to what's right and what's wrong, but it's about kind of seeing the whole picture. So I have been promoting this book because I think we all need a little hope right now in those sections of the world. So that's Trust Your Mind. Comes out May.
Trust your mind.
The Mavericks Museum. Oh, I see Virginia. Oh, sorry, guys. Having technical problems. Okay.
I just muted both of us. Sorry. She said, go ahead, Grace.
Okay. I was like, wait. Okay, so the Mavericks Museum, this is by Blake Gopnik, and he's a leading art critic in America and the author of the comprehensive biography about Andy Warhol. So he's definitely more than qualified to write this book and is the perfect person to do so. It's this look at America's first great art collector of modern art, Albert Barnes. And Barnes was born in Philadelphia, where ALA is going to be held, after the Civil War, and earned a medical degree, eventually making a ton of money, and he decides to become an advocate for the working class. And his art collection was fully dedicated to fostering rich cultural lives regardless of status. And this biography is meticulously researched and examines how Barnes was an advocate for, these ideals of this progressive movement and his impact on the art world. And he had this really cool exclusive access to Barnes collections, and it makes for a really fantastic read. And I don't know if Virginia wants to talk about the Philadelphia component, since ALA is 6 months away, which is crazy. I feel like we
That was
just
great. That's
Diego.
perfect. I mean, when they launched this book, when editorial launched this book, we were very much taken with it. The Philadelphia connection is really cool. This is coming out just a couple of months before ALA in June. This comes out, I think, it goes on sale in March, right? Yeah, on sale March 18th. And it's a really interesting approach. And so we're excited to have this on our list. Pretty neat. Well, people I've talked to about this, even in my building, there's a retired librarian who lives in my building, and I was telling her about this. She goes to Philadelphia all the time. She was like, "Oh, that sounds amazing." So it's kind of cool. Cool low, a new low.
You guys get to hear me talk again. Okay, Everyday Intuition by Elizabeth Greenwood, also on sale in May. I think we've all had moments of like, I just have a feeling about this thing or this person. And like, this is totally like a side note, but nothing is better than like when you have a feeling about someone and then you're proved right when everyone doubted you. Anyway, but what do we do about these feelings? Are they trustworthy? Are we paranoid? Are we too hopeful? Everyday Intuition is a deep dive into the world of human intuition and how we can trust ourselves and know ourselves better. And we rely on intuition a lot, even if we don't realize it or fully understand what it is, whether it's about work or romance or friendships. And we live in such a, data-driven world that kind of makes us feel like intuition is lost, but this book will help you realize that it's not. So the author looks at her own personal experiences as well as neuroscience, psychology, physics, and ordinary people to explore the topic, including, how does our brain process information and how do we use that kind of subconsciously? And she touches on how to distinguish it from anxiety and wishful thinking. I feel like, I hear all the time, like, am I just being anxious, or like, is this gut feeling like worth trusting? And ultimately, how do we use intuition to aid us in living our best lives? And like the first book I talked about, this is again a practical guide, and it's all funny and sincere and profound, and it's a new take on one of the oldest things known to humankind. And I think again we live in like a time where we're kind of leaning towards manifesting things and trusting your gut. And I think this is also a great book for the new year and how we can be more intuitive and in touch with ourselves. So
You're very deep today, Grace.
it's the new year. It's the time to think about these things. And this is just what happens when you can't leave the house because you have a sprained ankle. So you're like, what is the meaning of life? Anyway, the
You can
next.
order Chinese.
That's true. That's true.
Um, I'll talk about Alison Bechtel's book. You have Spent up there.
Let me jump ahead. There we go.
So a little humor. That's a good way to get through the new year. And who better to do that than Alison Bechtel? So you probably all know her from Dykes to Watch Out For. And for Fun Home, which was this wonderful book, or her graphic memoir, and it was adapted into this Tony Award-winning musical. Did you guys see it? Fun Home? Oh,
I didn't.
it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
I have not, but an
Did you
actor
see
that
it,
was
Grace?
no, but one of the actors in it, Michael Park, I think,
Yeah.
went to my college and I ran into him one time in the cafeteria and everyone was like, "Oh my God, you were in Fun Home," and I hadn't seen it. So maybe I will.
They made a movie, right? Is that the different? That's different.
I don't remember.
Hmm.
I don't remember what I had for lunch because I didn't. I had potato chips. Anyway, so this is and then her other books, the Secret to Superman Strength, was named a New York Times best graphic novel of 2021. So now she's back with Spent, and this is her first full-length autofiction. And so it's it's kind of loosely, not loosely, it is based on her. It's kind of like Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm is an exaggerated version of the real Larry David. That's what's going on here. And she's a lot of the characters from her previous book make an appearance in this book. And she is trying to deal with the world, the new world, that politics has a front and center. She's trying to figure out the climate of the world, the literal climate of the world, the political climate of the world, and she's got crazy characters in here. And it's just a graphic memoir about growing up with her father. It's just fun. It's a fun book, but it's also got a lot of depth to it. And you can have both things at once. And in her hands, it's done deliciously well. She's just brilliant. We're so excited. She was with Mariner, and now we're all Mariner is part of Harper. So it's so exciting to have these books under our roof. So it's cool. Oh, and the audiobook is going to be written by Alison Bechtel, who will also narrate the Alison Bechtel character, with the star-studded cast that will be announced. So super fun, super fun. Spent will be on sale May 20th. So that's going to be a good one.
For sure. Let's see, let's go back. Nini, do you want to talk about courtroom drama?
Sure. So Neely Tabati Alexander's courtroom drama, you might know this author from Love Buzz. That one got a lot of buzz. Booklist declared it an exciting new romance writer, the author. And then also In a Not So Perfect World was a Good Morning America buzz pick. And this is the new book. And she really does a great job at equaling, romance and kind of comedic writing with like a really deeper or a deep commentary on something as well. And this one marries everything I love. I've been thinking about it. I was reading on the train today. I was so excited to get back to it. It has a courtroom drama, so like a procedural, and reality TV, and a rom-com. So it marries everything I love all in one. This woman, Sydney, she loves this TV shows, reality TV shows called Authentic Moms of Malibu. And so her and her friend, it's become, they kind of watched it it was funny, and then they are now really invested. Like they love these reality stars. And she has an OG cast member, Margot Kitsch, who she's obsessed with. She likes to jump into their lives. It feels like they're friends because she watches every part of their life, even though she knows it's a little scripted. And so another side character on the show is a cast member, is her husband, and he has an untimely death. And now Margot has been not framed, but has been looked at, and she's going to trial, thinking maybe she killed her husband. And so when Sydney gets called to jury duty, and she finds out that she's going to be on our jury, she's determined to like kind of not tell them how much she loves the show, because she really believes in her, and she wants to try to go see if she can help the jury realize that she's definitely innocent. And so, but when she gets there, what throws her off even more is someone from her past is also on the jury, a childhood friend who she kind of had an almost romance with and hasn't seen for 10 years, kind of broke her heart. And so now they're on this jury together. They have to also kind of say, we don't know each other that well, so that they can continue on the jury. And so then obviously they're thrown together, forced proximity, which I love. And also you can't speak to each other. So they have to find ways to talk and get to know each other, what they've missed over the 10 years. So I've thought a lot about how reality TV is shaped in a narrative, especially like a courtroom, because you're telling one narrative. And so I don't know, there's a really cool parallel with those two things going on in the story of how they can frame someone to look really guilty, whereas she's kind of seen this TV frame someone as really innocent. So that's kind of a cool aspect of it too. But yeah, it's super fun. And the quotes for this, we just got an email today from Publicity. There's Mia Sosa, Elizabeth Everett, Fallon Ballard. Like, there's just so many quotes for this. Everyone's loving it. So I hope you take a look.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love the cover of that one. All right, what do we have? What We Leave Behind. I don't know if you guys are muted.
All right, I keep forgetting I'm
Oh.
both of our audios.
Virginia, yeah.
Be okay? Has anybody never been able to hear me? Anyway, I was saying I love this cover of Sue Halpern's book, What We Leave Behind. And how many people read Sue's previous book with us, Summer Hours at the Robbers Library? I love that book so much. If you haven't read it, you should. It's really wonderful. It's she's such a wonderful writer. She does fiction and nonfiction. I just love that book. And this is a story about two women who are grappling with the messy emotional legacies that are passed down by their parents. It's Jodi Picoult territory here. The book addresses this question, like, are we a product of how we were raised, or is our identity hardwired by our genetic inheritance? And so we meet these two women. Their lives intersect in a surprising way. One woman is reeling after the unexpected death of her mother. This woman, Melody, was adopted. She was adopted. She's a high school senior. Her mother dies unexpectedly, and Melody is left to work through her grief in the middle of school and college applications and all of that. And she's grappling with the realization, long known but little understood, that her mother was actually her adoptive mother, and that she knows very little about who she was. And then meanwhile, we meet this woman, Candace, who is this workaholic, and she's just doesn't want to have any attachments. She doesn't, she's intentionally so. And so through a bunch of crazy connections, Candace becomes acquainted with Melody's father, Eddie, and her regimented life takes an unexpected turn. So it grapples with destiny and identity. And again, what are we, are we hardwired? Do we learn from, our environment, and what's the story, and who are we, and who are our people? So Sue Halpern does these relationships so well. Did anybody write in? I'm curious if anybody read Summer Hours at the Robbers Library. I can't see the chats, but if you haven't, check it out, because she really does characters and their and interrelationships so well, and I don't know, they're just very complicated and layered and real. And that's what she does here. Again, she's so talented. So anyway, excited about this one.
Yeah. It looks like Vicky Nesting read it Summers at the Roberts Library and
Did
loved
you like it?
she loved it.
Oh, good.
All right. What do we have next? I have another like self-helpy book. I'm really on it today. Is this telling you guys a lot about where I'm at? So this book is called How to Fall in Love with Questions. And if there is one thing that is certain, it's that we all face uncertainty. And our author, Elizabeth Weingarten, takes on the question of how do we thrive in times of uncertainty, which I think everybody is really feeling lately. So she is a journalist and applied behavioral scientist, and she's written this book that embraces the questions in our lives instead of looking for quick, easy answers. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. Like, I feel like I'm uncertain about something and I'm on TikTok looking up like what is the purpose of my life and hoping like an influencer tells me. But this book will stop you from doing that, and you won't be looking at WikiHow to figure out the big questions. She asks, what if our questions, the ones we have about relationships, work, meaning, identity, and purpose, are not tormentors but teachers? So she was inspired to write this by 150-year-old advice from this Austrian poet named Rainer Maria Rilke. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And it's also backed by contemporary scientists, and she's, approaching, like, again, how do we deal with these big questions? And she shares kind of her own journey, in doing this, and the stories of others who have had their like lives transformed, as well as their relationship to uncertainty. And it's really made to inspire anyone who feels stuck and powerless. And, it has us challenge our minds so we can like move forward with the uncertainty and embrace it instead of act out of fear and unknowing. So I think another cool idea to take into the new year. And our next book, we did spend, so we're back to Lainey with The Capital of Dreams.
Okay, this book snuck up on me, and I think it was one of my favorite reads of last year, although it just came out this week. So, but I read it last year. And honestly, I didn't know Heather O'Neill until Virginia told me about what Lullabies for Little
Yep,
Criminals.
yep.
And so this new book we were publishing, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And the audio was available, and it was a great audio listen. So if you're interested in that, but then it was just, it feels like there's before and after this book. It was great. It's about this girl who, it's a made up, European small made up country, but it's war torn. She has this mother who's kind of a larger than life author who has very elite views. Like, she used to be invited to be a sparkling personality at all these dinners, and she's like, I'm so great. And essentially, you're so great for having a mother like me. It's very hard on this little girl because she doesn't think she can ever live up to what her mother wants from her. And so when the war is coming towards her home, her mother gives her a manuscript and says, this is your last thing to do, is go put my manuscript out in the world. These words need to be told. And then the little girl has a lot of weight on her shoulders. So I think she's 13, if I'm not mistaken. She goes and gets on a train to get out, and somehow she doesn't have the manuscript anymore. So now she's got to go look for it. And she goes through this country with a lot of people who are very desperate to get what they need. She faces them, and along for the ride, stay with me, is a talking goose. And so that creates really funny moments. And so it's all about her facing her own internalized elite feelings, her own educated feelings around all these people. And she's kind of like learning that just because you're born into a certain thing or told certain things, it doesn't mean you're any different than these other people who are in the same position as you. And so it's an intense book at the end. I feel like I need to warn people because I was not expecting to cry at the end. I feel like that's a warning, but it's so beautiful. The words like drip off the page. It's really beautiful. And my favorite was the goose. So I hope if you don't do audiobooks, pick it up. But I thought the audio was delicious. It's great.
So, and the coverage on this book, I mean, you cannot, it's just getting all of these crazy, amazing reviews, everywhere. You can't, I don't know. Do you want to talk about?
Well, she's a writer's writer. She has so many writer fans, and I think that says a lot to me if writers are like, oh, she's one of my favorites. There was a list, let me find it. Well, yeah, all the starred reviews too, Publishers Weekly, Kirkus, and is that Booklist, right?
Yeah.
Booklist, 3-starred reviews. But there's a list of, so Emily St. John Mandel, Kelly Link, Helen Yemi, and like there's so many. It's got a list of like they're all fans of her writing, and they are, so she's got great reviews for this book, but she's just got so many fans of writers in general. And then oh yeah, those are great. There's some images. I wonder if is that on Edelweiss? Let's see. Because there's some really cool images for it. Oh, and we were going to show the spent images too.
Stop sharing my screen for a
Yeah,
moment.
Grace, can you share the Edelweiss catalog by chance?
Absolutely.
Yeah, these quotes are
Yeah.
crazy great.
It just kept coming in,
Yeah.
but okay. Well, of course my computer's being slow. Okay, here we go. I wish they had those images on here because they're really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Reed.
A dark, wistfully comic fable that's as imaginative as it is poignant, an entire world that only Heather O'Neill could create. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Ian Reed, the author of We Spread and Foe. There's
Yeah.
a bunch.
It's like it's equally kind of dreamy. You feel like you are really kind of in a dream for this little girl, but also she goes through really hard. I mean, she's in war, and so the things she sees are really dark. But it's got a lot. It makes you think too. It'd be really good for book clubs. There's a lot to discuss. Um,
She wrote, Tennessee wrote back and said,
Ah,
what was that?
I don't know, play back, I guess.
yeah, I have
Um,
Facebook to put in the
yeah. Is there anything you want to say about lullabies? Either?
No, just that people were really excited to see that we had another book with her. And so she's, again, sometimes, we get these authors and they wow us, and then they take a hot minute because they have to, and then they come back and they wow us again. And so, yeah, this is a different book than her previous one, but just, you know, it's funny when you're in a meeting, with editorial, and you can tell this like feeling, when they start to talk about, oh my God, she back with another one. Oh my God, it's amazing. Like, I don't know. It's just a feeling that you get when the editors are so passionate about something, and the author's reputation speaks for itself. And that's really cool. And this is one of those.
Yeah. There's a really one funny anecdote. So she's like walking through and talking to the goose, and he says like, "Oh, you come off like so I'm better than those people." And she's like, "Well, maybe you do." And he goes, "I know I'm better than those people." So there's just a lot of commentary too on growing up. It's a coming of age novel for sure. Yeah, I know you love a kid.
I do.
That also just feels like the vibe of geese in general. Like
What'd you say?
The vibe of geese.
they do have
I haven't talked to many geese.
I haven't talked to many geese lately. The thing is they don't want to talk to you. They just want to chase you. Anyway, someone in the chat said, Monica said talking goose sounds like a bonus. Absolutely. And we have one more book to talk about, and last but very not least, Virginia's fave. If you can guess it in the next 2 seconds, we'll give you a virtual high five.
Well, it's the In Between Bookstore by Edward Underhill. Run, don't walk, run, don't walk, run, don't walk. I fell in love with it. I couldn't stop talking about it. And it made the library reads list. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. I don't take credit for that. I just was so excited when I found out that book made the list, because I felt like it really deserved to make the list. Those books only make the list because you all take the time to read them and vote on the ones that really hit your heart. And I defy anybody to read this book and not have it hit their heart. And it's just this wonderful story about this 30-year-old person who goes back home after moving away to New York to try and make it, and life's not turning out the way that he'd hoped. And so, he's goes back to his mother's home and to the life that he left. He's the character in the book is trans, and so he goes back and he goes back to the bookstore, this bookstore that he worked at when he was in high school, and how when he goes back in there, there's a time travel, goes back, and he's his younger self again. And it's basically, this book is, what would you tell your younger self if you could? Like, what would you, if you knew how things were going to turn out, going to be okay, but you don't know that at the time. And we've all been there. And so that's what this book kind of is. And he goes back and he revisits people in his life. When he goes back into the bookstore, all the books on sale are from, high school. Like the travel books are from high school. Everything, he goes out of the bookstore, it's present day. And so he's trying to figure this all out. and it's beautifully written. This is a wonderful author who's written young adult books, and this is his first adult title, and it's really special. So I was, again, really excited when it made the list, and he's a lovely person to boot. And so if you haven't read it, do yourself a favor. It's just really lovely. So there's the In Between Bookstore by Edward Underhill. Do you guys want to say anything about that or anything else? I don't know. I see that there are more names for people who are named after states.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's see. There is Louisiana, Maine. I saw this comment by Monica McAvee, and I thought Nuance was the name of the person. Like, Nuance? There's no state named Nuance.
That is a state of being.
Oh.
We also said Dakota.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning.
And there was one more that I don't think anyone mentioned. It was
So we haven't gotten into like, cities like Schenectady. Like, who would name their kid that? I don't know. Anyway, listen, we're just having fun. We're being silly. With our dipping our toe back into the Grace laughing. Dipping our toe back into the water into the new year. Boy. And can we share? And I'm just throwing this out there, but do we have the graphics that we can share for the next couple of months for writers to watch? Because that would be super groovy.
Sure. I meant to share the website so I can like show people.
Oh, that's a good idea, Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
That's what I was gonna mention, because we worked really hard to get them early so you can get excited and sign up and put it on your calendar so we're not surprising you. So tell us if that's great for you. Like, let us know if it's a good idea, because we're gonna keep doing that. Anything we can do to give you what you need. And yeah, I mean, more books. You like more books? I don't know. Let us know. We want to make this an event for you. But I'm really excited about this Thursday.
for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be super cool.
We have a Monica said Nuance would be a great name. Honestly, I agree. A beautiful name. Okay. I'm gonna share the my screen right now so you guys can see our writers to watch site. So here it is. You can find it on our Library Love Fest page, although I did throw the link in the chat and we can put it back in again. So we have this month pinned to the top so you can see again our gorgeous lineup and our Facebook link, the Crowdcast link, and then where you can find the e-galleys and the Edelweiss catalogs. And then I guess here I'll scroll down to our February episode. Look at this lineup. V, do you want to comment on any of these fantastic authors that are going to be joining us?
Yeah, I mean, Alison Bechtel, we're gonna have, so that's gonna be super fun to talk to her. That's whoa. I mean, Lady's been driving this. I mean, we'll talk about, who can we have above and above, and then it's like, okay, off to the races she goes, and it's like these emails are coming in like Alison Bechtel's a yes. Like, what? Oh my God, this is great. Christopher Moore, Meg Mitchell Moore, Jess Walter, and then Uzma Jalaluddin. Did I get it right?
Jalaluddin.
Jalaluddin.
I think I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure on her website she has the audio, which I love.
Okay, which we love.
Yeah.
Anyway, look at that lineup. I mean, that's going to be crazy great. So that's a month from now. That's February 11th. You can download the galleys and start reading and be ready. I mean, the beauty of having all of this ready now is that you can come to these author presentations, and they're really not presentations, they're conversations, Nobody's prepared anything. It's like we just want it to be conversational and loose and fun, but also the fact that the galleys are downloadable and you can read them now, that brings more to the table. So you can talk to them about their books, and if you want to, it's like a little book club going on here. So great lineup for February. And then look at March. Dear God. We've got Laura Lippman, Susan Wiggs, Nikki Ehrlich, and Allison King. That's the Phoenix Pencil Company. That's a big book here. We're making a lot of noise about that. And these authors, what do we need to say about them? They're wonderful. So again, download, read, come on. pour yourself a drinky poo and talk to the authors. What could be better?
Mhm.
Pizza.
Yeah, I will throw this back in the chat one more time. So
Yeah, and we're working on April. We have a couple up our sleeves. So that will be announced soon.
Look at everybody's like, amazing. Wow, fantastic. Jess, yeah, Christopher Moore, Jess Walter. Yeah,
the Christopher Moore
Christopher-
cover is so cool. Like
Yeah.
it is
I know, right?
so beautiful.
Yeah, that one's a fun one. It's kind of like Frankenstein, a little poor things, a little making a person, but creepy. Yeah, I'm excited for that one too.
Mary says Schenectady is on my list of the top 10 words that are fun to say, like pumpkin and Episcopalian. I I always say Schenectady, Mary. Always. I'm like, oh, is that the one I say? Schenectady? Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, shenanigans is a great word.
Mm.
Skinny Atlas, more upstate New York places that have great names. Skinny Atlas is a good
Piscataway. I like to say Piscataway too.
Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie. So yeah, let's just have our own little, word salad of fun. This is great. Grace, you put the schedule in. That's awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Lillian, I'm glad you're looking forward to the Phoenix Pencil Company. I mean, it's exciting, new voices and stuff. It's fun. It's fun to do this because it's great to have these, these big established wonderful people, and then to have some new voices. It's mixed in with that. It's pretty cool. So I don't know. I think that's it. It's 10 to 3, and that's like 45 degrees below zero in Manhattan.
Oh, the only thing I will remind, we put the schedule for Galley Gab Fest. It's usually the first Wednesday of the month, except for when there's some, one I think is Ash Wednesday or something. So we moved it, but that is on both Facebook and Crowdcast. You can go ahead and sign up. And on Crowdcast, you can just sign up and get all notifications from us. So that's there too. You won't have to guess when we'll be here for Gavin.
Gavin.
Yeah.
Pam wants to say, can you say Natchez? No, I can't. Natchez,
No,
Louisiana? Wait, it says Nakatosh. Nakatosh, all right, Pam. I don't know this.
It's like in Arkansas, we have Washita, but it's OA. That's how you say it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Washita.
we have like
Learn something new every day with our wonderful librarians. Stay warm, stay safe. The world's a little crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're glad that you could be here to spend some time with us. This is super fun.
it was a fun hour. I'm pumped for next. I love Galley Gab Fest. I'm
I
excited
know.
to do it.
I have to be honest with you all. Sometimes we get really nervous when we start. Like,
Yeah.
it's so weird, and then we get on and we just feel like, I don't know. There's something about the comments, I think, that are just sort of like we're all on the same page. Like that's how I feel we are. And then it just becomes a great fun conversation, which is very much like Writers to Watch, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone for the kind words about my ankle. I very much appreciate it. And we love you all back. So thank you. So many nice words in here.
I know.
Oh, you brighten our day.
Guys are the best.
So fun. Well, we'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah, see you
For
Thursday.
so even
Tomorrow,
more
right?
fun.
Sorry, just
Oh wait, yeah, just tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Why?
See you tomorrow.
I had thought today was Tuesday. That's hilarious.
All right, you all. Well, take care. Bundle up if you need to be bundled, and take care. Be careful out there, okay? Oh, Lorraine, this is the first time you came? Fun.
Woohoo!
Come back tomorrow. All right, Martha. Smiles back at you. Smiles to everybody. Take care, everyone. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.